I have always loved being included. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to be left out. And this, I think, started when I was 8 years old. I was the only girl with 3 brothers living in the woods of Connecticut. Derek was 12, Tim 10, and Christian the baby was 4. Derek was a teaser with a bent on torture. He would slink up to me and hiss in his most sinister voice, "Sometime in the next hour, you are going to be pinched harder and longer than you've ever been pinched before." And he'd give me a little sample. "Ow! Mom!" Or he would pin me down on the floor, sitting on top of me, with a great gob of spit coming out of his mouth, his face over mine, the spit dangling, sucking it back in, dangling, sucking it back in. "Mom!" And my mother would say, "Oh, I'm sure he didn't mean anything. He loves you." In the front of our house on the 2nd floor was a great big window that was actually Derek's bedroom that led out to a very steep pitched roof. My brothers loved to play on the roof, but it terrified me. The house was so secluded that we couldn't see any other houses, and the nearest neighbors were on a long, long dirt path through the woods. Now, this was fine for 10 and 12-year-old boys, but not so good for little 8-year-old girls to come visit. So I was alone a lot with a bunch of boys who would come careening through the woods on their bicycles, and they would really like to play war. It looked like so much fun. They'd split up into their teams. They'd claim their dens. They'd grab their sticks. They were guns and bayonets. They'd be in trees. They'd be on rocks. They'd sometimes be on the roof. "Please, can I play?" "No girls allowed." "Mom!" And it was around this time that my parents decided that Derek was old enough to be left in charge of me and Tim while they went out for a couple of hours in the afternoon with Christian. Are these people nuts? But there I stood in the driveway on a Sunday afternoon while my father read us the rules in his thick Dutch accent. 1, there will be no friends visiting. 2, no fighting. And 3, you all play nicely together. You understand? "Yes, Poppy." And then they loaded up the car and started to drive away. Then the car stopped and my father's window rolled down. They changed their minds. They were coming back for me, but he leaned out and he said, "And no playing on the roof." And I listened to the crunch of tire on gravel until I could hear no more, and there was silence. For a minute, until I heard the screaming and careening of 10 and 12-year-old boys coming through the woods. War! They chose their teams. They chose their dens. They found their weapons. They got themselves all ready and they started playing. And I put my little hands on my hips and I said in my biggest, bravest voice, "Poppy said no friends. I'm telling." And my brothers looked at me and they said, "You want to play?" "Yes, please." "Hostage!" And they grabbed me, Derek's team grabbed me, and they dragged me off to his den. And with a bandana, they tied it around my mouth, rope around my hands. "Help, help, somebody help!" Then Tim's team would come in, bam, 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 and they'd grab me and they'd drag me off to his den. The bandana around my eyes, rope tying me to a tree. Oh my God, this went back and forth and back and forth. This was great! It went on for several hours until, and the stakes heightened, until the house was breached. Dickie Roten, the rottenest one of all on Derek's team, grabbed me, and he was dragging me up the stairs, Derek pushing from behind, and they both said, "Roof!" Oh my God, no, But Dickie lifted that great big window and started to climb out. And he knocked over a pile of clean underwear that was on the bed. And he picked up one of them and shoved it in his pocket. Then he climbed out. He climbed out, and Derek handed him to me, and the next thing I know, the three of us are scrambling up this steep roof. Looking down, I can see Tim's team far, far away, shooting at us. I wanted to be shot. Then Dickie says, "Chimney!" And we're slinking up toward the chimney. He gets out the rope, and he says, "Sit, wench!" And I straddle the peak of the house as they tie me up to the chimney with the ropes. And then Dickie reaches in his pocket and pulls out the underwear and shoves it over my head. Just then, I hear the sound of gravel crunching. My parents are returning. Car! I could hear boys careening back through the woods. Dickie sliding down the roof and through the window. Derek is fumbling, trying to get the ropes untied. He can't. The car is getting closer. He lifts the underwear and looks at me and he says, "Sorry." And slides back to the back side of the roof. I hear the car stop. My mother get out. "Darlings, we're home. Children, where are you?" "I'm up here." And I could feel the vibration of my father's growl. "Godverdomme, wat gek is this? Derek!" Derek is at my side. This time the rope does come undone. "I've got her, don't worry." And we're sliding down the roof into the window, and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh my God, please, please don't tell, please don't tell. I promise I'll play with you. I'll never tease you. Please don't tell." And very kindly, he's holding my hand as we go down the stairs and out to my parents. My father looks at him and he says, "Derek, what is going on here?" "Well, I'm sorry we were on the roof, Poppy, but we were playing very nicely. We played with Missy." And my father looked at me and he said, "Are you all right? Is this true? Were they playing nicely with you?" And for a moment, seeing the terror in my brother's eyes filled me with a sense of joy I had not known. But also the hope that maybe I wouldn't be teased anymore, and maybe they would include me. I looked at my father and I said, "Yes, Poppy, it's true. I was included. I had the best day of my life."